I'm extremely passionate about what you guys do. You guys have helped make men and women better and healthier.
There's a nutritional component to it, a physical, knowing your own body, your red line, and then mental.
It's for 2017, the thing I'm most proud of that we've done. If you're going to feel good about something and sleep really well at night and be proud of something, that's the way to do it.
If it's something that gets you outdoors, if you want to hike more, camp more.
Get off the couch and stop making excuses. There's healing power in getting outside and kicking ass.
Hey everybody, thanks for tuning in. This is Brandon with Wilderness Attitude Podcast. Today we are joined by some crew at Wilderness Athlete. We've got Kevin and Courtney, and surely a pleasure to have both of you on. I've never got to spend a whole lot of time digging into some of the products with you over the last couple of years, especially some that have greatly influenced my life. But we might touch on that. I'm not nearly as important as doing a little 2017 year in review. So thanks so much for joining me. How you guys doing?
Good. How are you?
Great.
Good. Awesome. Where are you? It looks beautiful where you are.
We are in my backyard, actually. It's a beautiful day in Fountain Hills, Arizona. I'd say it's like 75, so it's kind of chilly for us. But yeah, this is our typical January day. It's a little warm lately, but it's pretty typical.
Well, and have you guys had any moisture lately down there?
No, I don't think it's rained for like 9 months.
No.
Are you guys going on a new record down there?
It's pretty bad right now. Yeah. Yeah.
I wouldn't mind a rain here or there.
Well, I know I was in New Mexico hunting last week, and it was dry as could be, man. It was super hard to stalk mule deer down there. It was almost
nasty.
Futile. Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna have a really brown spring if we don't get some rain here. It's gonna be kind of nasty, but
well,
no snow.
Yeah, we'll pray Mother Nature has it under control, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I'm in Durango, Colorado, and we don't have any snow here, and even at 11,000 feet, we're barely at a knee height up there, and that's pretty sad. We're usually in the 4-foot range by now up there, and so we're all looking a little dismal here in the Southwest. That's for sure.
Yeah, that's got to be rough.
Good for fire season. That's
no.
for sure.
Or good for fire season. If you're a wildland firefighter, it means it's a good summer.
How you look at it.
Yeah, you'll be busy, right?
Yeah, you'll be rolling in the dough.
That's a fact. Well, and that means you guys will be sending out a lot of hydrate and recover and energy and focus, right? Because you guys do a lot to support wildland firefighters, correct?
Yeah, they're one of our original customers. They invented the Superman, actually. Mark Paulson always tells a story about a chief calling him up and telling him that he ruined his life because he's got to wake up every morning and mix 20 Supermans for his crew to get him out of bed. So they kind of came up with that concept. So yeah, they're a big part of our business, and we try and do as much as we can to support them, especially during emergency times.
Well, and they might be jazzed to get some of the new reformulated cherry limeade and lemon lime this year, right?
Hopefully.
Yeah. I would.
It's
delicious. Yeah,
it's really good.
I'm sure, Brandon, you had the old lemon lime and cherry lime. I always liked it a lot, and that was an unpopular opinion. So we reformulated it and made it even better. But I think this will be, most people will really love this one.
What goes into that process of reformulating it? I mean, who does your R&D and who does a lot of that for Wilderness Athlete?
In my garage or, no, I'm kidding. I'm joking.
The mad scientist Courtney, huh?
Yeah. No, we have a full-time formulator named Rich Scheckenbach who has a long history in this business and has formulated actually for many other companies in his past and is, I hope, found a home with Wilderness Athlete. But he's formulated our product since day one, actually. And so when a product like that, we weren't getting the best feedback as far as aftertaste and some other complaints that people had about lemon lime and cherry lime. And so we tell him, he works with the lab at our manufacturing facility in California, and they kind of make these little twists, and they know far more than we do about flavoring. So they can know if we say there's an aftertaste, they can usually pick out which ingredient it might be coming from and whatnot. And so then they make changes, and we get samples here at our office in Fountain Hills, and we taste test with the whole group and argue about whether or not it's disgusting or it's great, or like we've tried some iterations, especially of our elite line. There were some iterations that were not good. And so we go through those arguments and then hopefully land on something that is a hit. And I think cherry limeade, we changed the name. Lemon lime the reformulation is wonderful. Hopefully our customers agree. We've been slowly getting feedback that it is. So fingers crossed. They were just, they didn't sell as well as the other flavors the first time around. So, but then everyone complained.
Yeah, I have to admit, I mean, I enjoyed it, but then when you guys hit, the strawberry. And the pomegranate and the tropical infusion,
yeah, those were killer, and they still are. And we came out with those a year after cherry lime, lemon lime, and usually it takes a product like a year to catch up with the other products, and those surpassed cherry lime, lemon lime like within the first couple months, and lemon lime sales just plummeted. And so
they were literally killers because they killed the other flavors big time.
Exactly.
Yeah,
though. I mean, there's no way that I could drink only one flavor for I don't know how long. I drink it every day, so I'd probably get sick of the same flavor after about a week or two. So it's nice to have variety.
Yeah, I rotate too. Absolutely. When are you gonna get packets out with those flavors?
That's the question. Everyone's looking at me for that right now. So what we try and do before we do packets of a flavor is we try and test it for at least like 3 to 6 months, because packets are such a different monster when it comes to getting them finished. There's like 10 different parts that go into it rather than just a tub and a label. So we're kind of seeing how cherry lime, lemon lime sell right now. If they come out, it's going to be probably in May. So we're still looking at 5 months or so. A
few more months, and we might have some data to look at and see if it's worth compressing the packaging, right?
We don't want to do that again. When we did cherry lime, lemon lime the first time and they didn't sell as well, we threw out, extra film for the packets and extra boxes and whatnot. And I hate throwing away things. So we're not going to do that again.
That doesn't help the consumer because it hurts your bottom line. So it's because it's all passed along, right? So got to make the right decisions when we can. It takes information to make it happen. Well, let's roll back into the beginning of the year. So in March, you guys you put out the Precision Vision, right? And for me, I took it for some time, but it's not necessarily a product, right, that you're going to see immediate results. This is something that's a long-term investment for that.
Exactly. Yeah, and for that reason, it was a hard one for us we actually had it formulated like a year prior to when we launched it, but it's not a very exciting product. Like, let's be honest, you take this every day, and then maybe in 20, 30 years, you're not going to have macular degeneration. Like, that's not a sexy sell. So it's a product that our formulator and our founder, Mark Paulson, strongly believe in. And we do too, obviously, but especially being in our 20s and 30s, it was a hard one for us to be like, all right, let's take this every day. And it's, selling prevention is more difficult than selling something like Hydrate, Recover, Energy, and Focus that you can feel right away. So it's an important product. The cool thing about Precision Vision is the research that's been coming out about the individual ingredients that are in it that actually have a ton of other health benefits, including the ability to help fight depression. They did a study on a bunch of teenagers, and it was beta carotene, right? Like on 6 months of beta carotene, these kids these adolescents had, and I'm not going to quote it because I'll get the numbers wrong, but far less symptoms of the depression and anxiety that they had gone in for treatment for. So it's kind of cool. Like, there's definitely other benefits to taking it, but it's definitely a preventative measure.
Right. And so in some of the research you guys did on that product, is there, even for someone like me who's already in glasses and whatnot, do you still see benefits in the long term for that?
Well, that's kind of the nature of macular degeneration, as I know it. I mean, your eyes are progressively worsening from year to year, right? How often can you change your prescription? I mean,
not by much each year since this year.
Studied out.
Yeah, I guess I've been doing Precision Vision since May.
Right.
June.
That's the goal, right? Is to slow that process down. I mean, to say that we're going to just hold you here for the rest of your life, like your eyes are never going to get worse, is a pretty lofty statement. But we're definitely going to be able to slow that down. That's what a lot of the studies have shown those ingredients to do for the inner pupil, all elements of your eye, which are incredibly intricate.
Well, and even people who don't require correction currently are still susceptible to macular degeneration as they age. I mean, we talk about elderly people going blind all the time. That's what that is. So the ability to slow that down, even if you have perfect vision now. In fact, if you have perfect vision now, you should be freaking grateful, and you should take this product every day. Coming from someone who's not, it's something you should be really grateful for. And the idea of losing your sight when you're older is, to me, terrifying. And so,
just getting glasses at 44, I hate it. I mean, I hate these things. I mean, going hunting, it's like I pretty much take them off for the day. I mean, I'm looking through glass and doing all that anyway, so it's not like but then I can't read a map on my phone. I can't, because I need to be able to see, through my progressives down low. So I don't know. It's frustrating. So,
it is. Yeah.
Now, you guys in April pushed out the good stuff. And that was a cool packaging concept that seems to be your key ingredients, right? Kevin, what made you choose the ingredients that you put in the good stuff in that package?
Those are the hardest ones to remember to take, honestly. They're just they're not in that daily wheelhouse of, I'm going to take my probiotics, my multivitamins, my fish oils. Those are the things that are foundationally, based. You're not going to feel it today or maybe tomorrow, but you do have to have some consistency with it to really start to notice how omega-3 fish oil, fatty acids help you, how the probiotics are going to help your digestive system, things like that. So making it easy to take with you on the go, like while you're traveling, which a lot of people do. We do a lot too. And so we kind of found that in our own lives, it got old taking these little bottles everywhere we went, or pre-packaging every day in bags. So it was kind of a necessity that we felt that we needed, and we figured our customers probably did too. So it's been received really, really well.
Yeah, I mean, I take everything. So, for me to get into the little package didn't make any sense because I'm still pulling bottles off the shelf for the other stuff. So, I think that at a bare minimum, that's where you should be at. So, like, when I talk to people about what you guys are doing and whatnot, I tell them all the time, I'm like, that is the bare minimum. If you're going to get into Wilderness Athlete products, that's the bare minimum you got to start with, period.
Yeah.
And then start working up from there through the hydrates, through the proteins, through whatever. But that's where you have to be. If you don't have that base level set, then the other stuff can't stack on it and make the foundation that strong as well, right?
Yeah. No, it makes a big difference when you're not only addressing your high performance needs when you're going to the gym that day, or your recovery needs that day, but when you're actually thinking about the things that are building and helping your foundational health. I think you'll definitely notice how long that strength, that endurance sticks around. How good you just feel on a daily basis, the energy levels you feel. That's what a lot of people forget about. It's like, okay, I'm going to take an energy drink or a pre-workout because I need to kick ass today or right now or recover right now. But where a lot of people fall short is thinking about, their gut health or a lot of other things that come into play when you're talking about just an overall healthy, athletic person.
Right. And I think gut health, that's the lifeline for it all, right?
Yeah.
It's a big deal.
It's a way bigger deal than we thought it was, up until I think it was a couple years ago, really, that people started talking about it more. And I don't think it's still mainstream knowledge. I think those of us more tuned into the nutrition industry understand it a little better. I still don't understand it completely by any means, but yeah, it's a fascinating concept of, a fascinating theory about how much it has to do with the rest of our health. And hopefully, if you're taking our probiotic every day, like you're supposed to be, we're doing our part to help you with that.
Yeah, because I'm just kind of in the beginning stages of really learning about that. That's kind of one of my goals this year. So, but what I found is that they can do DNA to some levels and find that we're all pretty much the same. But when they get into your gut and they pull stuff from your gut, that's how they can really identify and change who we all are and really identify us.
It's fascinating. So, have you read cool. Brainmaker?
Brainmaker,
It's the same guy who wrote the one about carbs. I'm not going to remember it. It's sitting on my bookshelf inside. I'll go get it. But Brain Maker, it's got a picture of broccoli on the front, and it's all about gut health. And mostly it's affecting your brain, but also your immune system, everything else. And it's what taught me most of what I know about gut health, and it's a great book.
Okay, I'll look into it.
Grain Brain is his first book, and that's about the effects of gluten, basically, in grains. And then Brain Maker was his follow-up to that, and it talks about gut health, and it's really fascinating.
Cool. So the bottom line is you got to, at least, like I mentioned, you got to start with the good stuff to get started. Yes. You know. Now, so then something that I really worked into later in the year. I mean, I had hip surgery late last year, and so I was pretty mellow throughout the year. But when I finally got cleared to really start doing some strength training, I jumped right into the Elite Series. I mean, I couldn't wait to get in it and get on it daily. And so you guys did the reformulated the nighttime optimizer, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about what steered you to redo it, and what research gave you that information.
I think the initial reason was we had just come out with Brute Force, Brute Strength, these very performance focused products. Nighttime Optimizer was, I mean, really the purpose was the same, as far as speeding up your recovery, making your recovery more, the most efficient it could possibly be. So in terms of rebuilding tissues, building muscle. So it just was okay, we need to introduce this to that same series of products, but how are we going to do that? We can't just make it the same. We can't just put a new label on it. So we talked with Rich, kind of figured out, okay, what are the areas and what other ingredients are out there that we can introduce to this product that will benefit our customers. That's where things like Tongkat Ali extract entered into, fenugreek extract. So both herbal extracts that have a long track record for a lot of things like testosterone production, normalizing your natural testosterone production, even estrogen levels. It normalizes, your estrogen production as well. And a lot of people hear these words because of misinformation that's put out there. And they're women hear testosterone and feel oh, it's going to make me muscular and I'm going to grow a beard or something. And then hear estrogen as oh, I'm going to become, a sissy or something. And there's really a lot more behind it when you start to look at the science between how those hormones play a role in our recovery, our bone density, our metabolism, our energy levels, our mood. So that's really the newest addition. I mean, I think the newest addition to that product, and that's how those have really changed the game as far as how well you were going to recover.
The research on fenugreek extract was what originally prompted Rich to, after we told him we wanted to reformulate it and make it a little stronger, the really, really positive research on fenugreek extract and the levels, testosterone levels and whatnot, is what inspired us to do that. And I can speak as a woman and say that you can take it as a woman, and it's a wonderful product. I can't say enough about it. And I don't even know, we were talking the other day, we don't really have a great sales pitch for nighttime or for midnight build, except just take it and you'll see what we mean. So good, you'll feel it. And
yeah, I mean, I'm a testament to that it works, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I can tell you, if I skip it for a week in strength training, I ran out. Okay, I don't know why. I just didn't look at what I had in stock. I ran out, and I ran out for a week, and I kid you not, I mean, the difference of my soreness levels and my recovery levels were huge.
Yeah. It's crazy.
And so, what does the increasing the zinc and magnesium do?
I was just going to mention, so one of the reasons why I think it helps with soreness so much is, so we went from 120 milligrams to 400 milligrams of magnesium per serving. So magnesium does a lot to kind of relax your muscles. It helps to alleviate some of the stress that your blood vessels carry too. So I think in short, I mean, a lot of people feel soreness because of a lot of reasons. I mean, there's a lot of things that go into it, but when you're able to actually let your muscles relax and absorb a lot of the other nutrients you're giving it through your sleep, you typically benefit from that, obviously. Mm-hmm. Zinc, I'm trying to remember a little bit more on it. Magnesium.
Zinc's a hard one for me. That's like, I need to talk to Rich. The magnesium one I get. Oh, you know what? I think what it was, and I have to look back through my emails with Rich. I believe there's a balance between zinc and magnesium. Don't quote me on this. I'm making fake science right now.
Where they work each other to make each other better at a certain level. They need each other,
and too much of one without the other will actually not be effective. I believe that was the issue with zinc and why that one was increased. Gosh, we sound like we don't know what we're talking about, but we have a really smart scientist who does this for us, and he talks a lot, and we don't always write it all down.
Well, I can thank you for the Tonkat Ali, because a guy in his 40s needs all the help he can get with his whole sexual part, making sure that it's all staying balanced. When you're working that hard and you're strength training, you're doing a lot of stuff and you're doing pre-workout and you're doing all these things, it tends to drive your drive down a little bit, I think. And I think that has helped give me some balance there. And so that's just my personal opinion. So
it's part of the reason why we say, just take it.
Try
it.
We can't get real specific as to why we want you to take it.
And they call us and talk to us about it. Or our CrossFit coach the other day made a couple comments that his wife, I'm sure, really appreciated. But we just tell people, just take it, just try it. And we have some really foul names in the office that we call the product that we won't repeat here. But if you ever need some funny nicknames for the product, we should do a contest someday.
That'd be a good one to put on Instagram and see what people can come up with.
Yeah.
You may not want all you get out of it, though.
No.
It is incredible, though, how well you do feel the next day, especially after a pretty brutal workout where one of those ones where you're just going through, you're like, okay, tomorrow and the next day are going to really suck. And, when you're kind of familiar with that, like, soreness zone, and when you know how sore you're going to be based on, what kind of workout you did, you will see a difference. It does speed up your recovery quite a bit. That's, the long and short of it is that you will feel ready to actually get back into the gym a lot sooner than you would, otherwise.
I like all of the Elite series. I think that, Force doesn't ramp me too far. It gives me just what I need. It gives me what I ask of it, but it doesn't slam dunk, doesn't shoot me to the moon. Yeah. And then strength, I can put in what I think is a really hard workout where I think I'm going to be sore as can be for a couple days. But if I can get right on that product, get it down, it's like I feel everything, like my son-in-law, he'll do a workout. We'll do the same workout, and he's a total meathead. He's a big dude, and he'll be pumped for hours. You can just see him just pumped up from his workout. But I can drink that, and within a half hour, 45 minutes, my pump is slowed down. It's managed. It seems like I'm already in recovery, and I think that's done a lot of good. So
it's a great product.
Yeah, one of the unique elements that a lot of recovery shakes don't have is the anti-inflammatories that we use and brute strength. You think about it, you're inflaming your muscles, your joints, you're stressing out, you're tearing down microfascial tissue when you're whatever muscle group you're hitting. That's like one of the quickest things you can do, or the best things you can do for next day performance, to actually repeat that same workout, or just get back after it without feeling like you're dying, is to reduce that inflammation and begin the repair process.
Yeah, I can't speak highly enough about it.
That's awesome. We appreciate that.
So then out of nowhere, you guys in September dropped Paleo-ish, right? That was like, everybody's like, what? And it seemed to be like you guys kept that pretty under wraps, because there was no leakage on that product, it seems like.
Well, we talked about it a little just to try and get a feel for like if people would care, if our customers were ready, and we got some good feedback here and there, just on an anecdotal basis. And it's really, it doesn't take much to recognize trends in the industry. Like, it doesn't take a rocket scientist, I think, is what we put in that email. So it was easy to see that was something we needed to do. We've gotten multiple questions really about not necessarily paleo, but dairy-free and gluten-free. And all of our products are already gluten-free, but the dairy and the proteins is a question people got all the time, or soy-free is another big one. So yeah, we really wanted to come out with something that just answered some problems that some of our customers were having, and then also open up ideally new customer groups that we can explore with that are more into the paleo, that are searching for paleo proteins, paleo products, because there's not a lot of paleo proteins out there that taste good.
Right.
It's a really difficult product. I think of all the disgusting samples we've ever tasted, paleo would come in as like some of the top. I mean, some of the other companies we tried were just not good. Egg white protein, let me tell you, it's really hard to make egg white protein taste good. It's hard. So we stuck with beef. It was easier.
I've never even gone down that road, but I seen like the beef protein bars that someone made at some point, and I tried some of those, and I was like, that is disgusting.
Hard, yeah.
I don't know how.
Well, have you tried like Epic bars, like jerky bars and like actual meat bars? Those are good. I mean, there's people using beef protein and trying to make it taste like chocolate cake. That's a lot harder than if you just try and make meat taste like meat.
Right.
The Epic bars are awesome. Like we eat them.
I've seen those.
Yeah, those are really good. And
okay, well, I'm just afraid to. After my first experience going down the beef protein line, I was like, nope.
There's some nasty ones, and we get a lot of samples of products, and buy a lot of stuff also, and we've tasted some gnarly stuff. But Epic has done an incredible job, and I believe they were bought by, was it General Mills this last year? And so, no, I mean, it's just a testament to General Mills looking at the industry and realizing like, crap, we make cereal and the whole world is talking about how carbs are bad for you. So let's invest in meat. So you're going to see, I think, some expansion from Epic as they get bigger, and hopefully like stick to the same brand. They kept all the same people on. So hopefully.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
Well, I know that it definitely opened up. I can only account for one person, and that's my wife. So I've been a loyal customer for almost 3 years, I guess, a little less than that. And she would never touch any of the other stuff that we had. And this here recently, she actually started giving it some more thought. And so she tried meal replacement and recovery, and it made her sick as could be. And so she's got sensitive issues in her gut, and so we tried the Paleo-ish, and now she's let's see, what's today's date?
The 8th.
Yeah, so she's 6 days into her 28-day challenge.
Nice.
And she's doing it with the Paleo-ish chocolate, and she's not doing the Paleo-ish hydrate and recover, but she's able to get away with the rest of the products, and so it's cool. Good.
That's awesome.
I'm super happy that she found something that she could get into, and I mean, I figured she had to jump in at some point. All the money I spend on myself, so.
Well, that was part of the goal too, was to offer a product that fit a niche that wasn't being delivered by other products in our line. Mm-hmm. So you get a room full of 100 people, there's 100 right diets, and maybe it's a dairy sensitivity or a gluten sensitivity, but sometimes it's just it doesn't totally agree with your bio makeup. So that was kind of one thing we were really excited about, was now we had something that was dairy free and soy free that we could offer, because there's a growing list of people who are showing signs that they're sensitive to those things.
Right.
So.
Now, I got to bring up something. So on the Paleo Hydrate and Recover, when I was down there, I talked to you because I ordered some because I wanted some of it.
Yeah.
And I wanted to try it out. And, what's funny was the first couple times I was mixing some of it, I'm looking at my son-in-law because he does the same thing. He tries tons of products all the time. He's always trying new stuff. And we're stirring it up, and there was bits in the bottom. I'm like, I don't know, dude, it won't dissolve all the way. I don't know what's wrong with it. And he's like, does any of the other stuff not dissolve? I'm like, no, everything else they do mixes fantastic, And he's like, I don't know, man. I'm not sure what it is. And we were eyeballing it. And then a funny story is that, my son plays football, and they have those drinks where the straw goes all the way to the bottom.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh.
So Callie was in a hurry, mixed him up some of that, a big old batch of it. He's out on the football field, and he sucked that thing up, and he got all that stuff. He was all, there's dirt in here, dude. Yeah. He was freaked him out.
We just put in dirt to make it really earthy,
Right. We wanted everybody to feel grounded in their paleo-ish take. But Kevin,
Oh, go ahead, Kevin.
Kevin, for the listeners though, tell me again and them so that we know what the deal is with that. That there's nothing wrong. It's not a problem.
No, nothing wrong at all. I mean, to my knowledge, it's the tea leaf extract that we have in there for flavoring. So I mean, one of the challenges you face when you're not using artificial sweeteners is flavor. So we're going to have to rely on a lot of fruit extracts, tea leaf extracts, for example, that you see on the bottom of your shaker cup. And some things just aren't able to be as absorbed and dissolved as easily as others. But, at first we were kind of like, I think a lot of the paleo crowd would probably dig it a little bit. I mean, I like it. We're actually talking to Remy Warren, and he was one of the first guys to sample it for us, and he was like, honestly, I like that. I like that chewy grittiness.
It's not chewy. Don't tell people it's chewy.
But I mean, it's not chewy. But there's, when you're used to drinking our other products, which is just like, pure liquid, you do have a little bit of grittiness in there.
Right.
So anyways, yeah, it's we first were aware that it was there, and we were kind of like, well, we're going to run with it because I think it's a benefit.
Embrace it.
We're going to embrace it. We might try to reduce it in future batches for sure. Just because I think we have heard that from some people, but
we're going to grind it a little more.
I think that just
in terms of like what you're putting in your body or anything like that, it's a tea leaf. So.
Right. I just think knowledge is all that's all you need to know. Because now that I know that, I'm just like, can I scoop it out?
Save it. Yeah. No, it's
so
good.
That it is good, and I think that the flavor's good. The flavor's light. It's refreshing. Tropical sunrise, and it's good stuff.
We're really happy with it. Yeah.
Yeah, we've seen a great response, and when we go to Spartan races and we sample it there, and you kind of meet a whole litany of people. Everyone from just your weekend warrior to your professional obstacle course racer.
Right.
And a lot of these people were really in love with the Paleo, which hydrate and recover, because it was much easier to palate than something else that they're drinking. It's really easy to wash down, especially when you're starving for breath and your lungs are burning, and it's almost like water, just in terms of like the refreshing.
Yeah.
No, we've had great feedback from it, so we're excited.
Yeah. I think that trying the products has been fun for me. I enjoy it. I mean, I would love to be a guinea pig on what you guys do, because I think it's intriguing to me to know more of the background of the products and different things, and just what it takes. How many samples, how many times did you throw it in the trash before you got to where it was good?
Yeah.
And I think that I'm intrigued by that, because as a chef for 15 years, I can remember trying to make an orange achiote couscous. Okay? You're in Arizona, so you know what achiote is, right? You guys are maybe not.
I'm going to smile and nod.
Yeah, we know what that is.
I know what couscous
I speak
is.
Spanish mostly, and I don't know what that is. So.
It's it's a seed that they press the oil out of, and it's an orange oil, and that's what actually colors your cheese yellow.
Oh.
But it has a cool earthy flavor. If you give it some sweetness and a little spice, it's really nice.
Okay.
But I must have made that. I was dead and determined to figure out how to make that couscous that flavor, because that's what I needed with my chicken and my green mole, and in my mind it had to be.
Yeah.
And so as a chef, you're a scientist in a way too. So you're always making stuff and throwing it in the trash. And I think I made it 10 times before I finally nailed it. And it was the same thing. I kept asking my sous chefs, here, try this. And they're like, I don't want to try another one, chef. I don't want to try another one.
Well, flavor profiles are weird that way, right? Because, if it tastes like spot on to what you were looking for, you're okay, it's good to go. Send it out. But you give it to like 6 other people, 3 of them are probably going to think it tastes like crap, It's just the nature of, your palate.
And what people are willing to accept is so much determined by how much they understand about the benefits. Like, if you told me that green infusion does what it does, I would just deal with the flavor, and if I believed you. But the fact is that like people aren't willing to like make that sacrifice. Like, oh, well, this is full of all these great things for me, and it's going to help my immune system. It's going to help this, but it tastes bad. That's not how I would make that decision, but that's how literally I would say 90% of our customers would say, no, I'm not going to drink that. It tastes like crap. So.
Well, I know that when Callie started her 28-day challenge, I told her, I said, well, I don't know if green infusion is going to mix best with the chocolate or the vanilla beef protein. I don't know, and I don't want to try. So you're going to have to figure it out for yourself. And she mixed it up in her first one, and she was in a full meltdown kind of. She was like, just like, she didn't want to do it. She wanted to do it, but she didn't want to do it.
Tell her to put it in the hydrate and recover.
I don't understand why people mix it. Just put it in like 4 ounces of water and shoot it. Like, why?
Also, like like the old
wheatgrass shots.
Wheatgrass, right?
Yeah.
There's
Down the
why
hatch.
ruin your meal replacement, which tastes awesome with green infusion, when you can just like make it up real quick. And people are like, well, you can't taste it if you put it in cherry lime. Yeah, you can. It's gross. So just shoot it.
I think it tastes really good with Berry Blast Hydrate Recover.
He's one of those.
Like ice cold. It's
in Berry Blast, huh?
It's almost like it's like kombucha, almost like herbally. It's good.
Mm-hmm. I'll have to try it. I'll give it a try. I mix mine in strawberry. Because I think like strawberries and green things kind of seem to make sense to me. So in my mind, it works. Yeah. so and that's the thing, right? I mean, if it looks appealing and it in your brain it's right, then you can usually take it and convince yourself that it's good.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, as long as it doesn't stink, right? You get it to your nose and it gets you.
Plug your nose, shoot it.
Plug your nose and that's funny. Now, I think you guys are very passionate about all the products that you guys put out with Wilderness Athlete. I mean, and you guys have helped make men and women better and healthier. And I think you guys are reaching your goal there to a point. I know you guys are branching out into some other avenues, not just us hunters and that kind of athlete, right? But you're also decided to really go out on an edge there and do your canine athlete to help, because we're all dog lovers in a way, right? If you're an outdoorsman,
you have a dog.
You got to have a dog.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, and that's really where Canine Athlete came from. All of my partners, everyone involved in the company, we all either have dogs or are dog lovers. And actually, the canine line started years and years and years ago. It's just we needed to get to a point where we felt comfortable launching something that was that far out of our wheelhouse, but we've been developing it for a really long time. And in fact, back when Wilderness Athlete first started 14 years ago, they did launch a line of canine products called Retrieve Health that was sold separately from Wilderness Athlete and is still out there today. So yeah, we've had experience in this prior, but these products are a labor of love for our formulator, Rich, who is a huge dog lover, just like all of us. And the testing that we did on this was obviously like really fun, especially the taste testing, trying to figure out what a lab doesn't like, because a lab will eat anything, was fun. But yeah, it's something for 2017, the thing I'm most proud of that we've done.
Awesome. And
mostly because of the results that we've gotten already. We've had emails, phone calls, text messages. I get videos of dogs on New Dog that are literally acting like new dogs. I was just emailing with a customer who took his dog off of her prescription medicine after like 8 weeks of slowly moving her from the prescription to New Dog, and she's back jumping around and happy as can be. And if we can provide that for man's best friend, that's like, I don't know, it tears me up. I get like verklempt when I read his email, or any of these emails that we've gotten. His especially got me, but it's a wonderful thing. So I'm really proud.
Yeah.
We got some from Kevin when we were down there visiting, and we have an old dog buddy. I'm not sure how old he is. 13.
Ooh.
And he's getting gingerly walking, hips are getting tight, can't get up and down the stairs, a few things like that. And so we started giving him the New Dog, and we noticed a huge difference in his hippies, his coat health. There's just times he went out with my son the other day and literally ran around the property, and we haven't seen him run like that. Like open gate running in a long time. And
that's so
cool. And he would kind of be a questionable eater for here and there. He would, sometimes he'd eat good and then he'd go on a dip and not eat good for a little while and that kind of thing. But he literally, you break out that jar and he's just like,
so we keep hearing that. Yeah. That's crazy that, like I said, my dogs will eat anything. So I've been giving it to my dogs months before we came out with it. And I didn't notice that they ate their food any faster, because I don't think they possibly can. But we've heard so many people say like that their dogs just love it. We've had a couple employees, or an employee, and then a couple customers tell us that their dogs will reject food without it now. Like, oh, sorry about that. Yeah, that's awesome.
We haven't got into the hydrate and recover for them yet. My daughter goes and chases cows around the mountain and takes her dog, and so we kind of like this. You can use this, and you can use it up on the mountain and that kind of thing. And so we'll see how that goes down. I mean, and I think, around here our temperature is pretty even, Steven, other than the fact we get cold. But for you guys down in Arizona, I mean, that's just seems like a product that'd have to be in your back pocket. I mean, dogs just get overheated bad down there.
And it tastes good also, and that's a problem if you've had a dog that has been dehydrated or needs to drink. You can't get them to drink, and so anything you can do to make it a little more appealing, like my Malinois, she won't drink in front of people. She I don't know, she wants to drink in private, but when she wants to be on guard at all times, which is her job, so that's good. But when I put hydrate and recover in water, she'll drink in front of people. She did the other day at the office. I was shocked in front of we were all sitting around taking pictures for our Thanksgiving picture, and she keeps leaning over and licking the hydrate and recover bowl, which is so unlike her. So and the flavor has been approved by Larry, my Labrador. So it's a butter. He chose it specifically. It is a mixture of butter, chicken, and bacon or something. So I'd be surprised if a dog could turn his nose up at that.
That's a trifecta of yumminess, I would think, for a dog, right? You guys have any other things coming out in the canine line, possibly?
No, we're gonna stick with those two for now. There's we went back and forth a lot about whether or not we wanted to come out with a joint supplement or a multivitamin. And we decided to do both. With the results, or, to combine them. With the results that we've gotten, I don't think we need to come out with a joint specific product. I think that this product, it really works well as a daily multivitamin for younger dogs, and then a joint supplement for older dogs, and vice versa. So there's nothing in the wheelhouse right now. We're going to really focus on growing, especially new dog. The hydrate and recover, I think, will be easier for us to grow in the long run because hydration is what we do. And so it's easier. But the new dog is something I believe we can grow to a very wide audience with the results that we've gotten. There's absolutely nothing else like it. So our focus is going to be expanding that, probably coming out with bigger tubs, honestly, because that's the number one complaint that we've gotten. Even though there's 60 servings in there, you get a kennel, like where we tested them, a kennel of 40 dogs, that lasts a day. So we're going to probably come out with some giant industrial sized tubs for our kennels and people with 6 dogs.
Yeah. Thank you. And then just so you know, I've got like 5 people in my house that drink hydrate and recover. So we go through one of those tubs and nothing flat. And so I need like a drum size,
like a wine barrel full of
exactly.
We have for that at the office, like leftovers from stick pack runs. We'll use them for like Spartan races and whatnot, like just giant boxes of yellow powder and
I mean, even
like deal drugs.
even like the I would even consider like the good stuff bag.
Yeah.
Filling that.
We've talked about moving a lot of our powders to a bag. That's probably packaging changes we're going to be pushing off till 2019, but we'll take that into account, like 100 serving hydrate and recover bag.
Yeah, man.
That'd be awesome.
My family, I don't know if it's a good thing, right? My family enjoys a lot of the products that I've been using now, and I've noticed a big difference. We've got a handful of kids on the football team that all use hydrate and recover, and energy and focus for games. And I mean, these are kids who are in 1st, 2nd, 3rd grade, and this is a good place for them to start, because you see the other kids over there slamming a Gatorade at halftime and crash.
We have parents all the time. Well, I give my kids Gatorade, but is this safe to give them hydrate and recover? And I want to look at them like, you're filling them with poison when you hand them a Gatorade every single time. You're literally destroying their. I mean, I'm very angry about sugar. Don't get me started. But I get defensive. But it's very healthy for children and for adults, obviously.
That's right.
Well,
now
Red Bull or like a Coke or something, and not really bat an eyelash. It's just sometimes they're unfamiliar.
Yeah. Well, because it's just, it's Coke.
And they have it in school cafeterias, so why not
it's
let your kids
crazy.
drink it?
Right.
Don't get me started.
I know. Well, we just started a new movement. It's first year in our house. There's some stuff in the pantry that once it's gone, it's not coming back. And finding different alternatives. My wife Callie's been really working on that. We talked about it a little bit, and she's really taking the lead and going for it. And we know together we're going to really try to introduce our family to a lot cleaner living and get away from some of that, because sugar more and more that I find and read about refined sugar is, man, I think it's the devil in our world, in our diet, in our society, really.
Yeah. If we had to pick one thing, that if I could get rid of one thing and literally fix the obesity epidemic,
right.
It would be sugar. It's and people are uneducated about it, and they don't even know in what products it's hidden in. And
well, it's the number one drug in America. People don't think that.
Yep.
They don't look at it that way.
And it's just as really addicting, if not more,
Right.
Because it's available. Yeah.
Well,
we could do a whole other podcast about sugar.
Sure.
So if you ever want to talk for an hour and a half about that, let me know.
Okay. Well, let's get into something that I'm super excited about, and I know you guys are too, and that would be the new rebars, right? Yeah. I got a few samples because of some of the orders that I did, but they should be here tomorrow, I think.
Oh, okay.
I'm hoping.
We must not have had. Oh, we probably didn't have any of the samples left when you came and visited.
Yeah.
No, well, I just couldn't wait, and when I saw that, I think I was sitting in the tree stand the other day and saw it was the last day to order them, and I was like, "What?" For the sale price. For the sale price.
Yeah, don't worry, they're still out there.
And I was like, "What?" So I'm sitting in the tree stand doing a Wilderness Athlete order.
That's what we want. That's our goal.
That's exactly what it's for.
Yeah, we're super pumped about rebars. If you followed our company for longer than a couple years, I have to make it up. I think it was like 2011, 2012 when we first discontinued our original bars. Mm-hmm. And since then, it's a question we get similar to cherry lime and lemon lime. We get it like at least once a week. When are the bars coming back? I wish you guys made bars. You don't make any backpacking food. Blah, blah, blah. So we took the original.
Do it all.
I know we're trying here, but believe me, we're trying. We took two of our best-selling flavors from before, made some changes to Mountain Berry, totally reformulated almond chocolate chip. Like it's a different bar. It doesn't even resemble the old bar. Mountain Berry tastes similar, but looks different, I think. But I've been eating.
Yeah, we've been eating old bars.
Okay, so we had this run of bars that went wrong, and we had to, like in the middle of the night, make an emergency call. We couldn't get at the manufacturer, we couldn't get the bars into the film, into the wrappers. This is 6 years ago. And so we had to put them in generic wrappers just to save the batch, and we couldn't sell them. So literally we still have some in our freezer that, like at the office, that we'll eat. So they're, nice. I don't know, 7 years old now.
7 years old.
And they look different than the fresh ones, let's just say, but they still taste okay.
They still taste better than a lot of the bars that you can get at a 7-Eleven or gas station anyways.
Yeah, so, right.
The new bars are amazing. They're like, all we can say about them is just try them. I mean, we can say a lot about them, but just try them. They're so good, and you can speak to that.
Yeah, they're awesome. I enjoyed them. And I think their balance of protein versus calories is right in the window, right? For the ounces.
Great little compact. Yeah.
Yep. For the weight per ounce that you're taking backcountry, it's right there with what you want. It's a good target window. And
definitely a relief to, actually be able to have something that someone can chew, because that's something we've been hearing for a long time at trade shows. Is, when you guys can have bars or something I can chew, like your meal replacement shake works in a pinch, but you know how it is when you're, hunting for 5-6 days and you're drinking, water and stuff. Sometimes you just want to, chew something that tastes good.
Yeah.
Bars, typically like Cliff bars and a lot of the other things out there are just a negative sum. They don't taste like anything. They just taste like, you're just chewing it to get it down.
Yeah, and I mean, I've been a Cliff Bar guy because that's been the best alternative for me at this point, I felt like.
Yeah.
But I'll be making that. Now I can make that switch and
We're
get
glad.
off of that. Yeah,
and
exactly.
If they, if these sell well and we see a lot of interest on these, we'll start developing other flavors too. So we'll reach out when the time comes and get some.
You can be our guinea pig.
Yeah, get some insight from our customers and from
I'm just looking. Yeah, I'm looking forward to being I wish I had had them on this hunt. It would have been good, but I didn't do nearly the amount of hiking on this hunt that I do, backcountry hunting elk and things like that. So I look forward to seeing what they give me you know, on the mountain? You know, how do I get an hour? Do I get
Yeah.
two? Do I get, you know, what does it do for my body, my energy, and different things like that? So I look forward to that.
Give us your feedback. That's the kind of stuff that helps us put more, you know, meat behind the product when we can say, you know, we've heard from our customers that X, Y, and Z is really working well. So the good and bad, we want to hear it all as far as how you feel, you know, what kind of energy it's giving you, what kind of strength, flavor, taste, how long it stays fresh, all of that.
Yeah, I mean, your guys' response to the 1 stars on your old cherry limeade products and different things. I mean, it's what we want, right? I mean, we can't give a consumer what they want, the value they need in a podcast or in a vitamin or in a shake, unless someone's telling us if we suck or if we're doing good.
Yeah.
So that it's almost like, though, you got to entice them a little bit to get them to give you the review. You know, you got to give them a little something to get something and that kind of thing. And that's just kind of how business works. But
we find that we get a lot of reviews that are very unwarranted, you know, especially when, you know, we get all these positive reviews, and the vast majority of our reviews are 5-star, and that's wonderful. But it's funny, when you get that 1-star review, that person's usually angry. Like they're just personally offended that you made a product that they don't like, you know?
Right.
So you have to learn to not take them too personally too. Like you can't take them all, you know, especially we didn't get a lot of 1-star reviews on lemon and cherry on the website when we had them. We just got feedback, like verbal feedback. When we started getting the 1-star reviews was when we got rid of lemon and cherry.
Right.
And it was like we had you'd think we had like kidnapped these people's children or something. Why would you get rid of the best flavors? What are you thinking? Like, you're idiots. I mean, okay, sorry, you didn't buy them.
Right. I mean, you know, your day marketing, right? I mean, you're getting feedback every day. You're looking at all your analytics all the time. And if they're not giving it to you, then what do you do?
Well, and the other part of that too is, like, you know, prior to us discontinuing it, we sent out numerous emails asking for feedback. You know, it wasn't like
telling them we're gonna get rid of it.
You know, without consideration.
Nobody took the time.
Well, we actually, when we sent out that last email that asked people to respond if they wanted to keep lemon lime, we did get, you know, probably 100 responses, which is a lot. But when you're talking about thousands and thousands of customers and bottles of, you know, tens of thousands of bottles of something. 100 people it doesn't make a big enough dent, but hopefully this time that 100 people will help us grow this flavor.
Now you got what was the gentleman's name that does your science research? Rich. So, but who came up with the new wrapper? You know,
that was Ashley, our head graphic designer, our design sorceress, as her business card calls her. We really wanted to do something kind of different, and like we put mountains on everything, and that's kind of our joke, is like, I mean, your shirt looks like something that we would make too, like as long as you put a mountain on it, like it's something Wilderness Athlete makes. So we really wanted to come up with something totally different and catch people's eye, and also be able to stand alone from the rest of our products. If we're at a trade show in a different industry and they don't recognize Wilderness Athlete, they can still look at this packaging and think like, all right, you know, that's cool. So we'll see.
Yeah, it's a cool package on the outside, but also I think the idea that you can have that bar fresh for a year.
Oh, that
is cool too.
Huge. And that was really part of the issue of the last bars. And I'd have to look back at I don't even know where I'd look, but I believe our shelf life on the last bars was somewhere between 3 and 6 months. And it just doesn't, that, you know, when you've got to order and make these things in a 6-month supply, then your customers at month 6 are getting bars that are going to expire next month. So our goal was to be able to make these bars in quantities that will last us about 3 months with a 12-month shelf life. So the customer that orders it at month 3 will still have 9 months of best by freshness. Now, we know from eating the old bars for 10 years,
7 years,
that like you can still eat it at month 13, and you can probably still eat it in year 3 if you find one in your pack and you're hungry. But what we did is made the film, or I call it film, what's the word for it? The wrapper. Thank you. The wrapper really thick, as thick as we could possibly make it, and it's obviously aluminum inside. And then they fill it with nitrogen, actually, when it goes, like when the machine puts the bar in the bag, and then it gives it like a puff of nitrogen, and it helps keep it fresher a lot longer. So those 2 changes I'm we're keeping our fingers crossed. We'll make it 2 to 3 years of freshness,
Right.
but we say a year to be very safe. If you get a bar that's a year old, it's going to taste great.
And that's the neat part about what you guys do. I mean, you guys look at every angle and every facet of everything you produce, right? You guys got good minds around the business table. You guys are always, in my opinion, looking at it from outside the box, and you're not afraid to, challenge yourselves and really work it. Like you said, I mean, there's multiple things we talked about today that where you've had R&D working on it for a year or two before you were willing to put it on the market. Yeah. And that's not how a lot of people roll. A lot of people do 6 months, they launch it, and then they just get feedback, and then they change it in 3 months and change it in another 3 months, and just to be out there in the market.
Yeah. Well, a lot of the nutrition industry is made up of private labeling. And so it's easier than ever to start a nutrition company nowadays. I mean, you can contract the manufacturing, you can have them formulate, not even formulate, but just repackage something that they've already owned, a formulation that they own and they make, put your label on it, and it's out the door in a month. I mean, not even 6 months. There's no R&D involved. Wow. It's kind of a pick and play. It's like how, we make apparel. We buy a t-shirt that someone else made. We stick our logo on it. It's an American Apparel t-shirt. That's how a lot of the nutrition game is played. So it's harder to do it this way because we spend a lot more money on the R&D and a lot less money on the cool stuff. But it's the way we've decided is this the way to do it. If you're going to feel good about something and sleep really well at night and be proud of something, that's the way to do it.
Yeah. Well, and you got to have integrity. Right? Yeah. If you're going to make the long term, you got to have good long business decisions, long-term aspects, good goals, and integrity, and so you can have that peace of mind, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
exactly.
for sure.
I appreciate you saying that. Like that's really cool to hear that coming from someone else. Yeah. You never know if you just tell yourself all those things, like how great, and how we feel so great about what we do, and then to hear someone else say it, that's really cool. So we appreciate that.
Well, and even when you decide to join forces with other people and work with other people and things like that, I really do think it's important that you're not doing a 6-month plan. I mean, this plan should be set out for a couple years, 2 or 3 years, and because that's where you're really going to reap the reward is in the long run when you guys work together and you build it and build it and build it and build it. If you're looking just to build numbers in 1 year so you can sell out, then go ahead and do all these fast relationships and all this fast, love and hate, right?
Yep.
But, but that's how it works, and that's how it should work. And I think that especially within the hunting industry, in my opinion, I think that people are starting to finally figure that out, that longevity is more important, And
yeah.
Well, it's a small industry, I mean, you've probably seen, Brandon, like how quickly word travels. It's impressive. So I think that's something that people are probably catching on for like the good reasons and the bad reasons. They've been burned or they say choice words to somebody. So, we put a lot of emphasis on our relationships with other people. It's kind of like, where we end up and where we are now in business has been because of some of the strong relationships we've built over the years.
Yep, I agree. And your business shows that.
Thank you.
For sure. I mean, you look at some of the people who have been representing your product line for 10 years, right? And they've been with you for that 10-year period. They've never wavered.
Yeah.
And neither have you guys. And when either one of you speak together, it's empowering. It's powerful, right?
Thank you.
So that's good.
We agree.
So talking about that kind of stuff, I mean, we've talked about 2017 and pretty much, I don't think we've missed anything, have we?
Seems like the whole year, yeah.
I think that's about it.
Yeah.
I think the only thing that we probably didn't catch was the Wild Kitchen Cookbook, Volume 1, which was somewhere in there, right?
Yeah.
But I want to fast forward right to Volume 2. I've made a handful of stuff out of Volume 1, and Volume 1 will play a lot more into my family's healthier diet now. But I just got back last night and opened up Volume 2 this morning and just kind of headline read it, and I am stoked. And I think that my dogs are going to be stoked because you even put dog treats in there.
Yeah. Yeah, we tried to get pictures of the R&D phase of the dog treats, but my lab wouldn't hold still long enough and would just devour them. So there's no cute pictures of dogs with treats.
Right.
None of them would behave for that.
Can't do the slow-mo.
No, no, they tried. I was out of town and I told them my dogs were hanging out at the office when they were doing that. I was like, send me a video. And literally, like, you can't even see the treat in her hand because he just clobbers her. So yeah, it didn't work out. But
He liked it.
He liked it a lot. Yeah. Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Volume 2 was a year in the making. I mean, took her a year, literally, from when we launched Volume 1 to when we published Volume 2. And the recipes, I think, are fantastic. I think she killed it this year. So we're pretty pumped.
And you guys made everyone,
well,
right? I heard. Even
Kimberly.
the ones that your customers submitted,
Yes.
you guys made them all and sat around the table and tried them. And
yeah, we now have a pretty awesome kitchen in our office, so we were pretty spoiled. Kimberly would come in with, her stuff and spend the day making some recipes, and we
didn't ever reject anything.
No,
it's not like we were like, no, this one's bad. Like they were all good.
It was all delicious.
Yeah. I think she made some tweaks maybe, but and then for photo shoots and whatnot, she made them all again. So yeah, she does a lot of cooking and we do a lot of Costco shopping. So, but it's a fun, this year too, we did, every single picture was taken by one of our photographers, either Ashley or Jenna, in our office or in Jenna's kitchen. And so we really tried to amp up our photography game this year, add more photos. And so hopefully it's visually appealing to people too, which is obviously really important in the cookbook.
I thought the pictures were great. And as the next chef that I know presentation is 98% of the sell.
It's hard.
It's difficult to photograph food.
Yeah.
And it's difficult to make food look great sometimes.
For amateurs, I think we did a good job.
Yeah,
Especially healthy.
Yeah.
I mean, like, it's easy to make a
chocolate cake
cheeseburger.
Yeah.
Like that looks delicious to anybody.
Right. Well, and I mean, some of the best food I've eaten, you look at it and it's like,
yeah, exactly. You don't want to take a picture of it.
Yeah.
And if there's a recipe in the book that doesn't have a picture, that's probably the reason. It's like, okay, well, this soup isn't that great looking, but we tried to get as many in there as possible.
Well, I like I mentioned earlier, I'm super stoked because there's more dinners and more sides, and that's cool for me because my breakfast basically consists of a meal replacement shake, and so, but then also I'm a huge fan of the Paulson snack balls, right? I mean, I take those things everywhere, and but I'm jazzed about the new cranberry almond balls, the change up there. So I'm gonna tomorrow look at the shopping list and go get some of that. And
those are really good.
Yeah.
When I get back from ATA, when I get back from ATA, I'm gonna start cranking up some stuff in there.
Good.
It'll be good.
That's awesome.
So today, if you're a subscriber, right, we all got to see your email that you sent out today about wild goals. And I think that's a great way to put it. We just did a team podcast the other day and we talked about resolutions that we wanted. And when I read that, I thought, now I'm bummed that I even said the word resolution in that last team podcast because that sounds so not right anymore, right?
Come on.
And so, who came up with that idea? That's just awesome.
Well, it's just Kevin and I here, so we'll take credit. I don't know if it was us or not. We were keeping a theme going because we have Wild Skills, which is our workout videos. Mm-hmm. What was the other wild thing we're doing? The Wild Kitchen, obviously.
Wild Kitchen,
and so we're trying to keep that wild theme going, and we're like, how can we? Wild resolution sounds really stupid.
Right.
So,
yeah, I think one of the other goals too was, I think resolutions become just kind of boring. Whether it's weight loss, muscle gain, or whatever. Like the journey isn't all that interesting. Like a goal, like a wild goal. Like if it's something that gets you outdoors, if you want to hike more, camp more, do something with your dog more, the list goes on. Those are fun things, and we want to see that. Like especially now with Instagram being such a big part of people's lives and stuff, that's kind of how we're enticing people to participate in this, is to show us, what you're doing today to kind of pursue that goal or to achieve that goal, and we've got some awesome prizes associated with it.
Yeah, do you want to explain it real quick? Do you mind, Brandon?
Yeah, go for it. Yeah.
Super cool. really all you have to do is you're going to post a picture on Instagram that's related to your goal. So you're going to state in that post like what my goal is. Like if it's walk my dog more, or go hike with my dog more, we just want to see pictures that resemble that. And you use hashtag Wild Goals 2018. Right. Simple as that. And so every time you make a post with that hashtag that relates to your goal, it's an entry to win. And we're just going to generally, randomly choose somebody from, that list of hashtag posts.
Not ourselves.
Not ourselves. No, so what we did internally, though, we have a bunch of people in the office that we all have our own goals, right? So we kind of set goals and associated some prizes with them. Like, for instance, mine's I want to do more scouting in 2018. I'm giving away a pair of 1042 EL Swarovskis as a part of that goal. Somebody else is to camp more. So we got a Kuyu tent and some nice jackets from Kuyu that we're going to give away to somebody related to that. So pretty simple, and it's going to be more fun than just someone saying, I want to lose 15 pounds, because we don't want to see you running on a treadmill, for a month. We'd rather see you.
Especially not the first month.
Yeah. Right. Exactly. So yeah, just a different way of looking at it. It's all frame of mind. I think everybody looks at the new year as kind of like a chance to start new.
Yeah.
And resolution just has a lot of negativity surrounding it, I think, because most people don't stick with them. And whether you achieve that resolution or not, how is that going to, stick with you for the long haul? So goals, just a different frame of mind, more positive frame of mind.
Absolutely. And that's like when I read that, I was like, that's awesome. Right.
Kevin wrote that piece about it being the difference between a goal and a resolution. I was like, dang, he's got me convinced.
Yeah, I know. I was reading that and I was just like, put me on the spot on my resolution thing last week.
Yeah, well, it was funny because I wrote that, and then we had already had like all the people in the office write their little personal bios on what their goal is going to be. But some of us used the word resolution in it, and it was like, now we can't even say that word. It's almost like a bad word in this.
Yeah, that's how I feel now too. Now, Courtney, yours was to do the rim to rim to rim in Grand Canyon the end of April. Now, I first heard about this when I was at my first Train to Hunt event a few years ago, and your father and who was the guy?
Probably Tony.
Tony
Leak.
Yeah, that's him, because he was in my class, right? And he didn't do really well, but he'd been gold twice in Tucson to the 2 years prior. And so I was sizing him up thinking, this sucks. He's going to kill me out there. But yet he competed in the Train to Hunt a week and a half after he did the rim to rim to rim. And the more I've learned about that, and Kevin, you did it last year, right?
I did it that same year too.
He's done it twice.
Did you?
That same year that Tony competed, and I think it was the year you had quite the finish through the.
Oh yeah, you had that photo finish with the land and.
that year.
I don't know why it had to be so competitive right there.
We'll repost that just for your sake.
Yeah.
Oh, that was something. And a lot of people were like, "Oh, he tripped you." I'm like, "No, he never touched me." And they're like, "Well, then why did you fall down?" And I'm like,
"Just say he tripped you."
I took a funky step to keep from, because I thought he was going to roll right under me. So I just kind of lifted up, but then I put one foot in front of the other like this, and that pack just started turning.
Yeah.
That 80 pounds went like that at the end of 3.1 miles, and it was going wherever it wanted to go at that point.
That was a fun one.
That was crazy.
That year Tony did it, and that was probably why he did so poorly too, just because it was
Hopefully he's not listening to this. I called him crazy. We said he didn't do well. But...
Right.
Well, I've given some thought to it. I mean, I'm heading, so my goal this year is to eat cleaner. The family, me, all of us, just try to really pay attention to what we're putting in our bodies a little bit more this year and be more conscious of that. And I think I've kind of been in and out of leading my family to do that. I haven't been perfect by any means. I mean, I love M&Ms. I'm just as guilty as anybody. But I've been training hard to get back into Train to Hunt because I didn't get to do it last year. And I got to do Tucson, made the podium. My hip went downhill, didn't get to do nationals. And so for me this year is to get back into that. And I just want to go do one or two, whatever the result is fine. I'm looking to get on the podium. That'd be great. I'd love to come to Colorado and represent my state. I'm not going to get to do Colorado this year, I don't think, because I'm going to be at the Pope and Young Rendezvous this year doing all the podcasting there. So anyway, that's kind of my gig. But my point was is that I want to do the Rim to Rim sometime shortly thereafter, maybe next year.
It took me I guess my dad's been doing it almost 5 years. When he first started doing it, I told him he was crazy, and like I thought I'd never want to do that. I told him there's no way I'd ever have the desire to do that, and he's like, all right, just, you got to come one year. And so we went last year and just did the Rim to River while they did the Rim to Rim to Rim. And leaving the river, leaving Rim to River, I was like, yeah, I got to do this. Like, I just let like 15 dudes like totally kick my butt because I didn't even try. Like, I got to at least try. So this is the year I'm going to try, and I'm terrified.
Maybe I'll come when you guys are there and do that. Do the Rim to River to Rim.
Good way to do it.
It's a great way to do it because you see the energy that everyone else has. We do it every year with a group of a bunch of wilderness athlete friends and family, and then actually a bunch of people from Ultra, which is the shoe company that we carry their shoes and we all wear their shoes. And so it's a great community thing, and a lot of people do the Rim to River. Some of those people kicked my butt for sure. But it's just a fun weekend to all be together and do something awesome like that.
Well, my dad is 80, and when last time I saw him, he told me, he says, you know what? I've never been down there. I want to go. I want to go to Grand Canyon. He wants to go down, and he wants to go back up. So we were thinking about going down in, camping a night, and then coming out the next day, because I figured that'd give him a chance to have some recovery going downhill before he comes back up. So I don't know, maybe we'll have to see if that's this year.
It's a long one. There's a lot of different options too. I mean, at the time of year we do it, the North Rim's closed. So, once you get there, the only way back is to hike. Or to get choppered out. But what a lot of people do, most people do is just rim to rim, so it's like 27
if the North Rim's open and you can get a shuttle back around, a shuttle that I believe only goes once a day, so you better not miss it.
It's
so it sounds to me like you're going to have your subscription to your Garmin InReach in good shape, huh, Courtney?
I'm just not gonna I'm gonna hike with a friend. So for sure I'll be with my boyfriend, and hopefully he won't leave me. I don't know though. His wild goal is kind of a smart aleck one. If you read further down, Red Steve's, it says, my goal is to hike more with the Atlas trainer so that in case I have to haul my girlfriend out of the Grand Canyon, that I can make it. I said, oh, thanks.
Ooh,
man.
That's a jab right there, huh?
Yeah.
Well, I know that.
Yeah.
I think I didn't think too much of like how hard it was or this or that or whatever. But then when I heard about the Claremont brothers and the struggle in the very end of their run there,
It'll be you, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, they still smoked me by I think at least an hour. I kept my head high because I kept Ryan in my sights for like a while, and I feel like that was a small victory because I could see way up ahead. But yeah, I think it's kind of one of those events that it's all encompassing. Like you got to be in shape, but I think what got Kent in trouble was salt. I don't think he had enough salt, and so there's a nutritional component to it. There's a physical, knowing your own boundaries, knowing your own body, your red line, and then mental is got most of it probably. So yeah, it was cool to have them go through it because obviously the Claremonts are looked at
specimens.
As, specimens.
Yeah, absolutely. When I heard that, I was like, ooh, maybe I don't want anything to do with that.
I don't know if they plan on doing it again this year, but I imagine Kenton will have learned the nutritional things, and then he's just gonna fly through it. And he already did. So,
and I'll be pumping you guys for information as to where I need to start and where that level's at. That's for sure on all those, on every facet.
Anyone who does it loves to talk about it. So, especially Kevin.
Kevin.
But we've got probably 10 people that if you need more advice would talk your ear off about it, including my dad. So yeah, we're open for anything you need.
That's cool. Well, I'm looking forward to it. I was thinking maybe next year that might be something. I mean, I don't know. I don't know if I want to be a lifer at Train to Hunt through my 40s or not. You know, I think that there's so much to do out there that's super cool and super fun, and where you can just meet more people and just, you know, there's no sense in just holding yourself down to one piece of the pie over here. Yeah. You know, so
big world. And there's like you said, there's so much cool stuff to do nowadays. So go run a Spartan race. Come out to one of our Spartan races.
Well, you know, I probably will do a Spartan at some point. My son-in-law is going to do Train to Hunt this year. And so he's been like, so when are you going to come do a Spartan race? Right. And I'm just like, let's see how you do it Train to Hunt. And then we'll talk.
I haven't done one yet, and all of our guys have, and they're all like, you can do it. If you're going to do the canyon, you can do that. I'm like, I don't know. I'm kind of terrified, but I'm going to do one this year for sure. Probably after rim to rims in case I break my arm or leg or face. I don't know if I need my face for the Grand Canyon.
That'll be good. Just your legs.
Okay, don't break my legs.
Your feet are going to be toast.
It's just all about being able to have that stamina, I think, to be on your feet and your legs for that long a period of time, right?
Yeah.
That's really what it is. It's time.
I got my standing desk. I'm ready.
Yeah.
That's where your training's going to start, Courtney? Is the standing desk?
I got it. I do, yeah. So now...
The other day I walked into her office and she was sitting, like she lowered it.
Because I didn't feel good.
And I didn't know what to do. Like I was like, I was like mid-sentence, and then I saw that, and it kind of threw me for a loop because she's always standing at her desk.
Call 911, quick!
Yeah,
call 911.
They know when I don't feel good when I'm sick, because I have one of those electronic ones and I'll just lower it. But I've got one of those boards that I can like wiggle on all day long, so I'm like doing spinning in circles, and I rarely stand still. So that's my training. Yeah, I'll do some hikes too.
I'll do some hikes too.
Yeah, just a couple.
We'll throw that in there just in case.
Yeah.
Well, I really appreciate you guys' time. It's awesome to be able to share what you guys are doing. I'm extremely passionate about what you guys do. You guys make a huge difference in my life from the very beginning, and you know, I've been looking forward to this day for a long time, to be able to do a podcast with you guys, and I've always really enjoyed being a part of what you guys are doing, and it's been a life changer for me, and I really appreciate what you guys have done, and where you guys are going now. That being said, with all the products and all the cool stuff that you've done there, I do have to ask you about this Adventures Enabled thing that you guys got going on. So I got this, let me rewind. We got this little snippet, a month ago? Maybe a little video?
Only like 2-3 weeks ago. Yeah.
Was it 2 or 3 weeks ago?
Yeah.
And I'm like, what is this? These guys are hilarious. These team names and the stuff that they're doing was absolutely crazy. Now, I just got back from my New Mexico hunt, right? And so when we spoke before the show, you told me that the first episode aired on January 4th.
Yes.
Now, I haven't got to watch it, but tell us more about what Adventures Enabled is, how this came about, and what does this mean to you, Courtney?
So it's a long time coming. It's been a project that's been in the works for, I guess, a year and a half almost. Basically, Wounded Warrior Outdoors, if you're unfamiliar with that organization, is the most incredible organization for taking wounded veterans and getting them back out, getting them hunting, fishing, just generally experiencing the outdoors again, which is incredibly therapeutic, as you, I'm sure, understand, and as an outdoorsman yourself. So Ron Raboud with Wounded Warrior Outdoors has been doing that work for, I think, close to a decade or longer. He's just an amazing man and has developed this amazing organization. So a year and a half ago or so, the idea came, or 2 years ago. Yeah. Cause we've filmed for 2 hunting seasons now. The idea came about to create a television show online, or at the time we didn't know what it would be, to really get people not only involved with Wounded Warrior Outdoors and to get veterans more aware of what that organization does, but to really encourage people in general to just get off the couch and stop making excuses and go do cool stuff. I don't know if I'm allowed to say bad words, so I censored myself. But so, Kirstie Ennis is one of the hosts and Matt Amos is the other host. They are 2 of the most brave, courageous, selfless human beings that I've ever met. Both amputees from the Iraq-Afghanistan conflicts. Kirstie especially, I mean, I love Matt dearly, but Kirsty is, younger than me, and this little blonde girl who at 17 years old enlisted in the Marine Corps and was a door gunner on a helicopter. I mean, she's just insane. And Matt got blown up once and then went back and he didn't get a limb blown up, got blown up, lost, I don't know if he lost fingers or toes or anything, but was blown up and then went back and then got blown up again. And when he lost his limbs. So, I mean, they're incredible people, and they have taken what the work that's happening at Wounded Warrior Outdoors and now, made this digital content to really inspire people that, if these people don't make excuses, then you really have absolutely no excuse. And whether it's an injury or depression or whatever it is you're working through, there's healing power in getting outside and kicking ass. So that's really the goal of the show. And we're obviously, as Wilderness Athlete, we're proud to be a part of it. And I'm proud to be a part of the team. It's going to be really cool. So the first episode did air January 4th. You can look for it on YouTube by just searching Adventures Enabled, or you can go to adventuresenabled.tv and see the first episode. You can see clips on Instagram. You can watch it on our Facebook. That's where most people consume this kind of content, which I find interesting, but you can watch it on Adventures Enabled Facebook. We've gotten, a bunch of views already. So, I mean, it's only been out for 4 days, and the idea of digital television is still kind of untested, or not untested. A lot of people have had success, but it makes TV producers nervous to do it that way. So we're like holding our breaths to see, but we're going to be doing a bunch of stuff at the Sheep Show, next week to promote it. That's Wild Sheep Foundation has been a huge supporter of not only Wounded Warrior Outdoors, but Adventures Enabled. So we'll pick up some steam there too. And please pass it along to your friends and family. That's the only way it's going to spread. And that's what you do to help WWO.
We definitely will.
Thank you.
I just saw the small trailer and I was like, that is hilarious.
It's funny.
I don't know who the two guys are. They have their amputee legs. And they're talking to each other. That's great.
Well, okay, so you have to go watch the full episode because we clipped that because what he says next is not family content necessarily. Okay. So you got to go watch the full episode. And have you seen the clip of JD and his Naked and Afraid audition? Have you seen that part? Oh God.
Oh, the where it's blurred out, right?
Well, yeah, but there's he does a whole thing about
shelters and like hunting skills.
It's on our Instagram. It is like roll on the floor laughing. It's hilarious. So
I'll check it out because I just had Matt Wright on the podcast a couple weeks ago from Naked and Afraid, and that's crazy, man. That's some crazy stuff going on there.
You got to go watch that clip and send it to him too, because if he's a Naked and Afraid person, he'll appreciate it. But this episode is full of humor, and it's kind of getting you to know all of the characters or whatnot. But the next episode is Kirsty Ennis's sheep hunt, and she's a right below the hip amputee, climbing these mountains that normal people with all their limbs can't climb. So it is going to be dramatic. It's going to be totally different from the first episode, less humor, more drama. And the humor will come back later on in the season. But this next episode with Kirsty is going to be very cool. So we'll release the preview for that sometime soon, I believe. So look out for that.
Cool deal. Sounds great. Thank you so much for being on the podcast. Thank you, Courtney. Thank you, Kevin. I really appreciate your time. We ran really long, but it was good information. People need to hear it. People need to know more about Wilderness Athlete. And we'll definitely keep steering them towards Adventures Enabled, right?
Thank you.
Keep supporting those individuals. They need it. They deserve it. What they've done for us is how do you repay it? You can't.
You can't. No. So thank you. And we appreciate all the kind things you said. I mean, seriously, sometimes you needed a little ego boost, and that might have been it. So I really appreciate it.
Well, it's all from my heart, and I've been preaching the same thing for years now, not just since I started doing a little bit of work with you guys. It's always been that way.
Thank you.
So that won't change as long as you guys keep making stuff that keeps making me better. Then I got nothing else to do but support you and talk about what you've done for me.
Thank you.
Everybody else can give it a shot, and go to wildernessathlete.com. Check out some stuff. Like we said, you want to
set up like a little discount code or something for his? And we didn't do that prior, but we can do one real quick.
We've got one still. I think Attitude 2017.
Oh, perfect. Okay.
Yep.
update that. Let's just keep that going then, because if it's already live. And
yeah, we'll make sure it's still live and it didn't discontinue at 17 or whatnot. Cool. But yeah, Attitude 2017 is his discount code. Cool.
Yeah. Well, we'll let him roll with it then, and go find some stuff. We know you got to at least start with the good stuff, right? Packaging, and then and hydrate and recover. I mean, that's the two. That's where you start.
Yep.
Yeah.
That'd be the way to go. Awesome, you guys. I appreciate the cool background. I'm a little jealous how nice it looks there.
Yeah, it's nice. It's getting some coverage, but thank you.
Brandon.
Excellent. Thanks. Bye.
Bye-bye.
What a great show. Appreciate you guys tuning in and listening. If you guys got any questions, comments, concerns, good, bad, or ugly, please go to wildernessattitude.com and drop me a message there. I greatly appreciate it. Thanks for tuning in. Catch you later.